Welcome to Hometown Heroes. This is Rick Irving with my co-host Mary Staffeld, and we are so excited to have Joaquin Castillo with us today. And he is the first Veterans Affairs officer for the city of Fort Worth. So, Joaquin, thank you so much for being here today, and we're excited to have you in your position, Army Ranger, Afghan veteran, Iraq veteran, and most of all, a Texas Aggie. So
That might be my favorite part of the whole.
a Texas Aggie from Long Beach, Long Island, New York. Welcome today.
Thank you very much, Rick, Mary. Thank you for hosting me here. Very excited being part of this. And I'm going to share a little bit of my history, my life. This will be a first time. I was telling Rick, you'll have a little bit of pictures that I would share. So,
Oh, that's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. And we really just got to meet you recently and
yes.
get to know you. So we're really thrilled that you're here with us today so that we can share what it is that, like you said, your history, but what you are doing for the veterans in Fort Worth.
And, Fort Worth in Tarrant County is known as a great community that supports our military, our veterans, and our first responders. So it's so good to have somebody that's down there at City Hall that can help the veterans have a lot more visibility in the community and offer a lot of different opportunities for veterans to get plugged in with organizations, become volunteers for things such as the Veterans Day Parade. So we're just excited to have you. So how did a guy from New York go to Texas A&M? How did that happen?
Yeah, yeah. I had a teacher of mine. He spoke about Texas A&M and the Aggie and the Aggie band. You can put the picture if you want, Rick. If there, they can see. So I'm there. This is my sophomore year
Oh,
in my uniform. I'm actually in Brooklyn. This is the side of Brooklyn, and then you can see the Twin Towers from there.
that's,
So
that's your
yeah,
boots.
yeah, I got my boots. Yeah, so I was wearing my junior year, and I think that was getting ready for the senior year at A&M.
And the
So
boots are a very important part of
Yeah.
that
yes,
uniform.
yes. The riding boots. I think at the time they were probably about $600, 700. I didn't get them a Holics like I told you because when I went to A&M, I didn't go right away to the Corps Cadets. I was a regular student, and then I was telling Rick before there was a gentleman saying, "Oh, the Corps Cadets is one of the hardest things that you can be. Be part of the tradition." And then he didn't make it. So, and I was like, I love challenges. So what I do, ended up joining the Corps Cadets. So yeah, there I was in my boots. I was actually going to be. I didn't take my commission, but it was the drills and ceremonies, what they call. But if I would have took my commission, I probably would have been a Marine. So I have a lot of my friends that were Marines. So it was a Navy Marine, and you can't see the cord, but the cord is the Joaquin cord, and the cord means the highest grades in the Corps Cadets. But
Wow.
not because of me. I probably dragged them down. I probably my grades weren't that great, but they helped me. The Corps Cadets have about 2,000 students. So our unit, it's called C2, Old Army Cock Company. Yes, that's the name of the outfit, and it still exists. So it's C2. So we got the award. So going back, I just had a teacher telling about Texas A&M, and his wife knew Randy Mason, which I believe he got uh, the bronze medal for a shot put at A&M. Talked about A&M. He talked about the traditions. He talked about all the amazing stuff. And I was like, okay. And I started watching A&M football from my TV. And I was telling Rick before, I was watching the Aggies play and how they do the Saw Varsity's horns off and all the traditions being from New York.
Oh,
And I was like, Mom, I'm going to go to that school. And my mom's like, okay, yes, son, yeah, you're going to go to Texas, yeah, sure. I was like, Mom, I'm going to go there. So it ended up going to A&M, and it was just amazing. I'll go back. Being a New Yorker, grown 25 miles away from New York City, it was amazing, amazing people, amazing culture. I don't think I would done it. I don't think I would change going back to school. Only if I would gone, honestly, not that maybe if I would have gone to Harvard or one of those maybe those Ivy League schools. But I think A&M is an amazing school. I have two boys. I'm going to push them to see if they can go to A&M. Also, we get the Aggie ring that at that time I think I paid I think $300, and then the Aggie alumni pays the other three. It's about 600, but now it's worth, and I put it down. It's worth $1,500 to $2,000. The Aggie ring now, so it's
Yeah. Did you dunk your ring?
oh yeah, many times. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My
Uh,
when my daughter got hers, we're there with
wow.
a group of girls,
Yeah,
and they're all chugging the beer, and
yeah,
when they dunk ring
yeah,
day is people just until you experience those traditions, go to yell practice, midnight yell,
yes.
um, the elephant walk, the bonfire, and I was the area director over the Applebee's in College Station before
Wow.
the
What year? What
bonfire
year?
fell. I was the area director there from 97 to '05, and my daughter graduated in '04. My son was class of '05. And it just, the traditions, I loved them so much that I really wanted them to go there because it's similar to being in the military. And
Yes,
having been in the military,
yes,
I was like, I love the community, and she could call if she was walking home late at night, and somebody from the Corps of Cadets would come escort her.
yes.
And it was exactly kind of like what we were used to from having served in the military, but you're there at a college, and it was the traditions are just amazing. And you probably have heard it or seen it on shirts where it says, from the outside looking in, you can't understand it, and from the inside looking out, you can't explain it. And
Yeah,
that's really true. And I always equate our roll call luncheons to
yeah,
being the
It's
same way.
it's
yeah.
like that.
Yep.
No, absolutely. I loved A&M so much that I ran for senior yell leader, class of
How
'97.
did
So
you?
yeah, I ran. I didn't win, but I got 3,000 votes. I ran for senior yell. I also tried out for the football team. I got second cut. I would have made it third. I was very involved with the students organization. The first time when I arrived to A&M, I arrived a couple of days earlier, and I remember I went to speak to Ron Sass, which there's a scholarship now under his name. He worked for the Housing Authority for 30 years. So there's a grant under his name. So I went to Mr. Sass, and I was like, "Hey, this before the court. This is my first years." I said, "Hey, I'm a little bit early. Can I, is there any way I can get, a dorm?" And he's like, "Well, you know what? Let's figure it out. You came 2 days early, 3 days early, but it's not a problem. Let me arrange it." So I went to his office. We talked, and he gave me, I think, $20 or $30 at the time, cash. I'm like, "Sir, I cannot take this money from you." He goes, "No, don't worry about it. Go for lunch. Go for something." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah. I just, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." So yeah, I went to go lunch. I went to check out the football stadium because it was open at the time. Now I think it's closed, but before you can study at you can sit down um, in the horseshoe, or you can, if you want to just sit down and hang out, or if you can run. It was open back in the 97. And so I came back, and then he set me up with the dorm, and everything was perfect. And from there, we built a great relationship. He got me really involved with the dorms. I was very active with the housing, uh, and we he retired, and we still connect on LinkedIn. But it was just amazing, such a great guy, and the things he did for A&M and for the students. And now they have a scholarship under his name. It's incredible, and that's just one story of many people uh, that I know, at A&M, and especially in the military. I was also I bumped into Tyson Vocal, which is also he's in charge. I'm not exactly sure, but at that time he was at at Fort Benning in Airborne School. And I know him because he was a Corps commander at Texas A&M, and now he is in charge, I think, of the Texas A&M. I don't want to mess, but he's a very important position at A&M. But I saw him, and I say, "Hey, Tyson, what's up? Hey, what's up?" And it's like, yeah, just the Texas A&M connection, and a whole bunch of folks from A&M.
Yeah.
There's Aggies every place, every
Everywhere.
corner of the
Even,
world.
Bruce Cox is an Aggie.
yeah, even
Yeah.
when I was walking with those boots in Brooklyn, New York, he's like, "Hey, I'm an Aggie too, class of so and so."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, no
That-
freaking way!" I'm like,
Aggies
"Oh my
are the
goodness."
one that still wear their college rings. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
pick
yeah.
them out. And I got my years wrong. That's the years my kids graduated high school. Jessica was A&M 08, and Andrew
Okay, that
was a
seems
year
more.
behind her. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
no, you're
but,
making
but
me. I'm old now. I feel super old.
you can recognize
Yeah,
them because they wear their Aggie ring like their whole life.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
It's
not
a
wearing
very
it today, but
unique
normally
ring.
I wear it. I have like a gold watch, so it kind of matches with the Aggie ring because the Aggie ring is gold. It's kind of flashy. Yeah,
There's some Aggie supporters out there watching you today. One of them is Wanda Cox, and
Hey, Wanda, how
Wanda's
are
the
you?
chairman of the Air Power Foundation. So
Yes, yes.
a good friend of ours, and certainly a great supporter of our veterans and the military. And then her daughter, Cameron, says hi. And then she
Hello.
says, "My dad will so appreciate the Aggie shout out or the A&M shout out." And then one of our great supporters for Roll Call and the Air Power Foundation, Air Power Council, Holidays for Heroes is Dr. Melanie Throne. Good morning, American heroes. And whoop. So everybody's out there loving on the
Awesome.
Aggies today. So
Yeah.
probably won't have all the Texas guys. They're probably already turned us off. But
You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if
No,
they're
no, Texas
veterans,
is a
they
great
want
school.
to hear what he has to say today. So
Yeah, yeah.
don't turn
Texas is
us
a great
off.
school. Texas
Yeah.
has a great school.
But you went
But
to A&M, and then a world event happened and kind of caused you to
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
change directions and shift gears in your journey of life.
yeah,
And that's whenever 9/11 happened.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. So, I was going to backtrack from where I grew up, but that's fine. We can do 9/11. 9/11 happened. So I was actually traveling from Spain to New York on the same day. So 9/11 happened. Our plane got our plane had to come back, so it was going to Spain to New York, and then would take us back to Brussels. So we got stuck in Brussels, and then I got off the plane and I spoke to I was like, "Hey, what's going on here? What They didn't want to say what happened, so we got off the plane and I spoke to one of the security guards, and I was like, "Hey, what happened?" Trying in my English because they speak some of them speak English. And then he's like, "Oh, the tower, the plane hit the tower, and that's it." I was like, "What?" I was like, "No, this guy is joking me." And then I couldn't believe it. It happened, and then we went to the hotel with my mom. Then I saw actually the second plane hit the North Tower. So I believe it was the South Tower first, and then the North Tower. But yeah, it was unbelievable. So I was at that moment, I was like, "Wow." Being a New Yorker, 9/11, growing up 25 miles away from it. I used to see the towers every day, driving home every day. I used to see the towers. You can see them from Long Beach, New York.
Mhm.
And it was just, I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. So the towers hit. And then I guess that's, when I decided to join the military. So it was, and at the same time, I also worked on the loading dock and World Financial One, which is it's probably I'm not sure if you've seen the movie Boomerang from Eddie Murphy, but it's one of there's four World Financials. They're the smaller ones, and then they had the Twin Towers. So they were the smaller one. The smaller one, I worked right in front of the loading dock in there.
Mhm.
So it was kind of crazy because that's where I worked. And I really truly feel that if I would have been there, I would definitely helped out those folks, whoever the firemen, everyone. And, it's just, it's an incredible day. Just coming thinking about it. And I normally don't, get sad, but just thinking about this event totally changed the trajectory of my life. I was working. I already went to A&M. I didn't take my commission. I was thinking of becoming a physician assistant. I was taking a couple of science classes, anatomy and physiology too. I think bio too, and some other classes. I was working on the load and knock, and at the same time going to school. So that was my that's what I wanted to do. But again, after this 9/11 happened, and I just couldn't sit there and not do anything about it. I know prayers are great and everything, but I really wanted to take action. I said, and at the time, I wasn't married and have kids, and I was like, hey, if I'm doing this for the New Yorkers, for our country, So I took it personal. So I signed up. Yeah.
And you signed up for the United States Army.
Yeah. I signed up for the United States Army, and
Well,
then I wasn't smart, so I did the Army. I knew it was harder in the Marines, but yeah. So it was a little crazy. Let me tell you a little bit about this. So I went in at the tender age of 27. So
you were the old man,
senior citizen. So while the drill sergeants were yelling at the young guys, they were just making sure that I was alive and checking my pulse. So going into 27.
My husband went in at 32, and they used
Wow.
to old man.
Wow. But I'm sure he was an officer though. He was an officer though, right?
No, he was enlisted.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
So I had that. I might be old, but at basic, I was a pretty good runner for being 220 pounds, about 6 feet. And they chose me to be the guide on in basic. So I used to run with the guide on. So I was in pretty good shape. There were 3 teams on the running teams, A, B, and C, and I made the A team. It was I think that helped me become a Ranger. I was a very strong runner. So at basic, I got the opportunity to do Airborne, and after Airborne, you get the Ranger contract, then you go to schools. And I remember the guy from Long Island, he's like, whatever you do, don't become a Ranger, become Special Forces. Like, yeah, whatever, whatever, as long as I get the contract, So look, this world is crazy. The guy being from Long Island, and I think he kind of liked me, and he kind of helped me get the contract, because there's only a certain few that can get Airborne or Ranger during basic. So that went through, and I guess the rest is history. And this photo is, I believe, I don't look pretty happy. This is in Afghanistan. So right after, I'll tell you a story. Our job was there to in search for Bin Laden. So I was I was with the 1st Ranger Battalion from Savannah, Georgia. And I'm going to tell you a story. So I believe it was the 3rd day in, the 3rd or 4th day in. I was in the mountains of Afghanistan. So at that time, it was. Let me see what I'm trying to think back. When was the time? It was during. September, during September, and then I left at December, January. So it was November, December. So we had to take showers, and I love taking showers. I don't know, but in the freezing cold, there's ice. So we had to warm up a pot, right? You put the pot, you put it in, and then you just trickles down. You get the soap, and you're trying to, in the middle of, in the mountains. So there's no privacy, which it's all guys. It doesn't matter. So that's fine. It's no big deal. But the problem is that we started getting RPG, rocket propelled launches from the Taliban was hitting our base. So it was hitting our base, and meanwhile I'm taking a shower, and I was like, I could not believe this already. I mean, give me some time. So I ran naked, and I grabbed my weapon. And I grabbed my weapon, and then we had to take. So it was kind of weird with the other guys. I never told the story, but I'm telling you now. It was just, I'm like, third, 4th day, and this is what it is already. It was just nonstop. But I kind of laughed, but I was kind of upset because I didn't give me a time to dry up, and then meanwhile I was freezing, naked, and then just grab my weapon, and it was just a little crazy. So yeah, it's just lots of little stories there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the visual on that is just got to be.
yeah.
What was the reaction of the guys around you? Did they even notice?
They don't care. They don't really care. I mean, we're all guys, and I think they were just and the new guys, like, which I was one of the new guys. It was like, oh my God, are we getting shot at? Oh my goodness, So at the time now. Yeah. One that say, oh, I have a lot of stories. Yeah, but at the time, it was funny, but yeah, there's so many, and then we did so many. It was just, since it was right after 9/11, it was just so many deployments, constant missions. I don't even know how to count, but there's so many. But I can tell you about one. So I was with Second Bravo Company. With Second Bravo, deployed September to December. It served with the First Ranger Battalion, and we also worked with the Fifth Special Groups in the early stages of the war. So what we do, conduct searches, recovery missions, targeting enemy personnel, monies, computers, all stuff that will be intelligence related material. And then I was also assigned to the QRF. The QRF is the Quick Reaction Force Team. So this is the group over here. This is the Second Platoon Bravo Company, and if you see the picture, I'm the guy all the way on the left. I know, all the way on the bottom, Cruncher Town. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's in Afghanistan, somewhere in Afghanistan. Yeah.
And one of our viewers, Terry Burgess, you
Yeah.
probably met him, Gold Star. He said, "Were you involved in Operation Strong Eagle 3?"
I'm not sure. Possibly. I was in 2002. It could be possibly. It depends with who. Yeah. I honestly, there's so many missions that I can't. I can't remember, honestly.
So
And just
you were staying busy the whole time you were there.
we're super busy,
You,
constantly busy.
was that where you had 3 teams, and one team would go out, other team would be training, other team would have a
Oh
couple
yeah,
of days
yes,
of
yes,
rest?
yeah. The three Ranger battalions: the first, second, and third. I was from the first Ranger Battalion, which is in Savannah, Georgia. Second is from Washington, and the third is in Fort Benning. And basically, there's one that is R&R relaxing. The second one is training, and then the other one's in combat. So that's the rotation that goes on constantly. So I was telling Rick, even when we're at base, we're still constantly training, which was, I think it's a great thing. But I mean, once you're an older guy, 27, 28, you're like, okay, this is just, PTing, running, exercise and training. It was a lot, and I was stationed in Savannah, and I never got to do the St. Patrick's Day parade. That's one thing I missed, because I think the Rangers will walk and then walk through do I forgot the name of the street, River Street, right there in Savannah. So they will walk, and it was a big thing, but I never got to do that. I was always constantly training. But there's the next picture you can see, and the Chinook. I think we're ready for battle. I don't know if you can put it. See, actually, that's not my buddy's picture, but I stole it from him. So we're leaving a Chinook helicopter. That's what it looks like. Ready for combat. Your stomach is going in circles, and just ready to go. 18 hours notice anywhere in the world. So that means in 18 hours, we can go anywhere in the world.
Man, you got to be ready to go all the time.
Yeah. Very physically challenging, mentally challenging. Of course, possibility, being killed. Don't think that, every time. I'm not sure with the other units, but I remember every time before we go to combat, we had to put a letter on our bed just in case we never came back. So the letter would be, hey, I'm not here. I probably something happened to me, and then that letter would go to your family members. So put in that letter, every time on combat, before we go to combat, was holy cow. You're like, okay, you put it, and then you come back, you're like, so it was kind of it was just a reminder, kind of reminder.
Makes it real, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah, and it makes it really, yeah, it makes it real, and just there's just so many combats that there was another combat I remember searching for Osama bin Laden, and one of the Chinooks, and one of the Rangers lost the rope, and he didn't grab it because it was pretty cold, and he went down, and he killed himself. So fast rope, and then the mission just got to continue. It's kind of crazy. It's just, okay, he'll be okay. We'll figure, and then it's constantly, constant going. But during the training, things happen like that too. When we're doing when we're jumping out of the planes, things happen to certain. They get they call the cigarette roll, that the parachute goes over the head, and some of them, during training, that happens as well. So it's something that you get used to. Yeah, it's a little strong, but yeah.
how long were you in Afghanistan? A year or?
Yeah, no, we what, September, and what's that? September, 4 months. It's quick,
Okay.
3-4 months. We're not there a long time. We're there to do the mission, and then we're in and out,
Because
basically.
that's all intense time. It's not like
It's intense time. Yeah, it's intense time. There was really not a lot of time for R&R. We didn't get a lot of R&R. It was just constantly a go kind of, um, fast, quick. Either you're not there, you're working out, you're still doing drills. So it's pretty exhausting at times. Exhausting. Yeah.
yeah. You were in Afghanistan and then you went to Iraq,
Yeah.
correct?
I'm going to show you the next picture. We were in Saudi Arabia, right there. This is 2003, before the invasion of Iraq. So this is a funny picture. I was telling Rick before. This is from a documentary called The Ranger, documentary for Chris Bemis, who was the guy on top with the Longhorns. It looks like, I don't know if he meant to do the Longhorn. It don't look like Longhorn, or so it was a documentary. I seen it on, I think it was on Netflix or YouTube. And then I looked at it. I was like, okay, I know Chris. And you know what? And I was like, who's that guy on the left? That's me. I'm like, the guy on the left is me. I'm like, how can he use my picture without even asking me? He didn't give me any money or anything like that. So that was, yeah. So it's kind of, I saw that, and I was like, holy, and I think there was another 2 or 3 pictures of me in it. And there was other pictures that I took of him that I knew it was me, because he was me. But it's basically about his story. I think he went overseas 6 times. Deep story. He dealt with alcohol, and got into a car accident, and now he's in a wheelchair. So real strong movie. And there were times that, there's a time that, he wanted to kill himself, and he put the gun in his mouth. But so it's pretty strong movie. But I give it to him. He's doing great. But when I saw this documentary, I was like, holy, with my picture on it. So I had to share. So this was the first initial invasion of Iraq. So our plan was to we were going to do a historical jump into Baghdad. Yes, our unit, what we're going to jump into. But there was a problem. If you've seen the airport in Baghdad, there's huge craters. And if there's craters, we will fall into the craters. And then, so the mission, thank God, Third ID with the tanks rolled in. They were rolling hard. So the Third ID took the airport over there in Iraq. So we didn't do that jump. So, which is great. I know you get, on your uniform, they call it like a mustard stain on your uniform, but it's okay. It's fine. Third ID rolled, but then we continue to go on that mission. Tons of missions there, and I'm going to tell you more about the missions that we've done. Let me see that. So that's there at that's Saddam. Everybody knows who's Saddam, and there's my squad there, right there. That good-looking guy on the bottom on the right, that's me again. See? So I was a rifleman, and then I had a 203, a grenade launcher in there. So yeah, that's in the airport. We went to the airport, seized the airport. The airport, it was like a retro 1970s. We walked around, it provided security, but and this was pretty intense as well. This is the beginning of the the Iraq War, which started I think in March 21st, and I was deployed there on March the 8th.
Wow.
So, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was pretty intense, pretty intense. Let me see. There's another. So I got the opportunity to be do incredible things there during that year that I was deployed. It was March the 28th to April. We got to do the invasion of Bagram Airport, and we also got to do this very important mission. It was called the POW Jessica Lynch mission.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the Ranger, the second Bravo Company Ranger Battalion that we breached. What was that day? We breached the wall at the Jessica Lynch mission.
Wow.
So we had one of the guys was a demo expert. So he actually breached the wall, exploded. We went in as a group, and then we divided two of the groups. One of the groups, let me see my notes. One of the groups.
That was in a hospital, wasn't it?
Yes, it was in Nasiriyah in the hospital. It was, let me see, I got the dates here. It was April 1st. So it was BCO, us, which was Task Force 121. You know, it was SEALs. I guess there was maybe a Marine attachment. There's a lot of groups of special operations guys there. And while we breached the explosives in the hospital, SEAL Team 6 went in to rescue Jessica Lynch. So 11 bodies were recovered. 11 bodies recovered from the gravesite and 12 from the morgue. So our team divided. One group, which was I was part of, we went into the hospital, we went to the basement. I'm not sure when you see that footage, you see the footage of like a map with sand on the first floor. And then we checked all the rooms for security. And then the other group had a harder detail. Their detail was to dig up the bodies of the soldiers. Yeah, yeah. So I didn't get that task. You know, it's just the way it turned out. So yeah, they had to dig the bodies and of the soldiers. So that was a pretty big task, and taking out the bodies, and they had to do with they only have hands and the e-tool, the e-tool, like a little shovel. So it was, yeah, it was pretty, yeah. So yes, it was, it was pretty strong. Yeah. 11 bodies and 2 from the morgue. So there were 11 and 2 downstairs in the morgue. There were 2 of them. So they were all.
And for people that don't know that story, that was early on. They were in a convoy, and they started having some mechanical issues.
Yes.
The convoy went ahead, and then Jessica Lynch and her unit, they missed a turn, and they went right into the enemy's hands.
Yes.
And firefight happened. Some of them got killed, and then a few got wounded. So then they took them prisoner, and had this rescue and got her back. So
yeah, and had the honor of being part of that rescue. Successful mission, pretty intense. Just a lot of thoughts in my mind going through that. There was a lot of activity. So yeah,
because whenever you go on a mission like that, I mean, you have to think, hey, there's going to be a possibility that some of us don't come back, and it could be me.
Yeah. It's yeah. Lots of times that That's why, when I did my, 3 and 1 reserve, that's why I tell you, Rick, I think and we did other missions that we're in other countries unofficially also. So these are the ones that we're there, and then we're the other places as well too. So, I
Yeah,
know
because some of
I'm out of the military. I'm not writing a book. I'm just being honest. And yeah, there's the other places that we went as well.
those missions where you weren't there, and there's casualties, they'll just say, "Oh, it's a training accident or something," but they won't say, "Oh, we were in this place having a battle that we weren't supposed to."
We've never heard that in the military before. Just guys about all the places we went.
Uh, I
Yeah.
tell you, I want to get into it, but there's a lot of strange things that goes on. So
There is.
we're just picking up people and dropping them off, and it's just
Terry
very
Burgess, he said Brian was with the 25th Strikers at the
awesome.
time.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
y'all crossed paths with each other. So,
maybe very, very, very
have you
possible.
met Terry Burgess?
No,
Okay.
I need to meet him.
Yeah, Gold Star Dad, his son was Brian was killed in Afghanistan, and they were doing a documentary, and it turned out it's the Hornet's Nest, and Brian was in that documentary
Uh,
whenever he got killed. And Terry and Elizabeth started a foundation called the Gold Star Parents Retreat. So they really help the Gold Star parents, those that have lost a son or daughter wearing the cloth of our nation, help them every year. They have a retreat, and it's just a time when they can come together with people who have gone through the same thing. And it's a good time for reflection and some healing and just being around those other parents. So you need to. We'll go have lunch with Terry someday.
Yes, I believe I met him one time when before I started this position, and I think I will reach out to him, and we'll definitely do some lunch.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
yeah, absolutely.
And there's another famous guy that went into the military. His name was Pat Tillman. I don't know if
Yeah,
you know about Pat Tillman, NFL player who gave up his 3.6 million contract to join the Army. He's part of the 2nd Battalion, A Company with the Rangers. So another story. What was it? It was during Iraq. So during Iraq, so he passed in Afghanistan, but when I was in Iraq, I believe that was his first combat, and then we were attached to his team. So I was BCO, 75th Ranger, BCO, 1st Ranger Battalion, and I'm not sure if we were the best or the worst because we ended up staying there with attached to his group. So it was his second Ranger Battalion, the whole battalion, plus just our attachment to our company, just our squad. I meant. So I got to meet Pat and I talked to him a little bit. But going back, we have this thing called the Ranger Rendezvous, which every year all the 3 Rangers battalions get together and do combatives like who's the best boxer. We play soccer. It's like a camaraderie. We all jump together from the C-130s, and then I got to meet his brother Kevin, and Pat. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I totally admired this guy. I was like, holy cow. This guy's super smart. He graduated 3 years in college, honors. He's super built. He's given up a military contract, and he's a good looking guy. I was like, wow, incredible. But I'm not going to say that. When I met him, I was like, hey, Pat, oh, awesome. We talked, but I would never say that because, we're all Rangers. But I was super impressed. I was like, wow, this guy gave up everything just to join the military. It was just incredible. And just, that opportunity to meet him and his brother, because we were playing soccer. They had like a soccer, and he was there with his brother Kevin, and just meeting him and regardless of what happened, we know what happened. I mean, he's still a
Right.
patriot. He still gave up his life for this country. An amazing guy, you know. But it was just people like that, Pat Tillman, the Jessica Lynch mission, so many things that year. There were so many things going on, especially in Washington. The Jessica Lynch mission, the Pat Tillman mission. I was like, everything was there. It was very, very involved, and I just thank God that I could be part of this, and I can contribute in any way that I could. So it was amazing, and I met so many amazing people who besides Pat Tillman, people who played in the NFL also. Maybe they weren't that famous, try to become Rangers, and just very incredible people, very smart people, all people uh, from all over the United States. Another fun factor. Have you seen the movie? Obviously, the Freddy Krueger movie.
Well, then I don't even.
Yeah,
I don't even need to know.
Nightmare on Elm Street,
I don't
right?
watch
Yeah,
those. No,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
no.
Well, that Nightmare on Elm Street. His name, I forgot what his name is. The football player from the first movie. That the guy who played the football player with Johnny Depp, he was a Ranger with me, and
Was it really?
yes, he was. And later I'll send you a picture of him. Danny Hassel. His name is Danny Hassel,
Ah,
I think he was older, but he's in way better shape than me. I think he was in his 30s going in. I was like, oh my God! But he was a total stud. He was amazing. He won everything. And I'm like, dude, what? Why? You're an actor. Why are you coming to become a Ranger? Oh, because maybe I can maybe I can do a military movie afterwards. I was like, okay, So yeah, amazing guy. From California came in. I'm like, oh my God, they even got movie stars over here. And I remember him, and he was playing the football character in Nightmare on Elm Street. So that's incredible.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and so many
Right.
other people probably that were there. I just didn't know. But total amazing experience, amazing training, everything I wanted to do. I think I done it in that short time, from helicopters to training to air assault missions to every single thing. So that's why I kind of got it. I was like, okay, I done it. Not time to move on. And then that's after my deployment, after 2004, that's when I got honorably discharged from the military.
And then you went and started serving again, except just in a different capacity.
Yeah. So I had the opportunity. I kind of felt. Well, first, I had challenges just like anyone else. Trying to get a job. Even though it was difficult, even though I graduated from A&M. I'm bilingual, even though I was a special operation soldier, I still have trouble getting jobs. I didn't want to get involved, with the VFW, American Legion. I wanted to be distanced from the military. I just wanted to get away from everything. So it was a little dark time, and I lucked out finding a job at Home Depot from a friend. I started at Home Depot. And then I think my calling was actually helping people coming back, because thinking of becoming a physician assistant and thinking of going back. But then I was like, no, let me start doing social work, start really helping people, helping veterans, helping people that can't help themselves. Then I ended up working. I got a job as a community representative at the Nassau County Human Health Services. Basically, I was one of 4 people that people would come in for services. So basically, think of this. It was like a DNV. The county executive, Tom Swazi, he's a state representative now for New York. He thought of having a services for everyone in one place. So like a DNV. So you would have veteran services, you have public assistance, you would have senior citizen, you would have everything there. Great idea. But the bad idea is that you start seeing more than thousands of people a day. So what's that mean? There were 4 people. I was the buffer. So they put me, since I was the first person. People coming out of the hospital. I'm not lying. People came in the hospital gown for services. People came, to pay the child support. Not happy. Senior citizen, not happy. People that are not getting the public assistance. not happy people. So I was the buffer. So it's like, hi, how are you? Yeah, I just got out of jail, and okay, sir, let me try to help you. So a lot of not happy people. So I started working from there, and then slowly I got promoted, and then I ended up working at Latino Affairs, helping the Latino community, um, not become citizens, advocate for them, and then from there, I got the opportunity to work at the county executive's office. Um, Basically, what we did there, another one is that people would write complaints, and they were myself and two other folks. For example, this is just the flag was not hung the right way, or parking issues, anything related with the city. They would go to me. I would send them a template back. Thank you. We'll get back to it, and then I would connect them to the folks. So it was like the complaint of Nassau County. So
And
which is great.
that was good training.
Oh
When
boy. Oh yeah, yeah. In back of my mind, I was like, hey, I'm getting paid. I'm helping the community. This is all that matters. So yeah, hey, I'm alive. That's all I did. So from there, and then I got the opportunity of becoming the deputy commissioner for Veteran Affairs and for Veteran Affairs for Nassau County. At that time, Nassau had over 100,000 veterans, huge veteran population. Uh, I'm not sure if you know, after World War II, Levittown was built, the first veteran community in Nassau County. So yeah, it built 17,000 homes, which is a population of 84,000 folks.
Wow.
In the first 3 hours, 1,400 homes were purchased. 1,400 in 3 hours. Yeah. And then I knew about it, but I didn't know the history. Then they built one in New Jersey, in Puerto Rico, Maryland, and Virginia. Some of them were Levittown and some were with other names. So very interesting, huge veteran population. But as you know, veterans, a lot of them die, right? And a lot of them are moving to other states. So the population now is probably 75,000, maybe 65. It's dwindling. It's very expensive living in New York. My case was a little bit different. I got hit by Hurricane Sandy. So I lived in Long Beach, which is it's an island between the bay and the beach. And we kind of lost, my family, and we lost everything. So I stayed back a year. We bought a house. I live in Hazlitt, bought a house in Hazlitt, and I stayed one more year so I can finish because you need to serve. I did 11 and a half. I needed to do 10 in order to get some type of pension. So I stuck it through. I stayed in my mom's couch for a year. Can you believe that? I slept in the living room for a year. Meanwhile, my wife is at home in a big house, Meanwhile, I'm in the living room dealing with my mom.
You got to do what you got to do.
My mom's a lot to handle, but yeah. So we did that, and then we just moved here. And then I had the roots from Texas A&M. So, and I had a friend that lived out in Fort Worth, and I was like, you know what? Why not Fort Worth? But now Fort Worth has just grown to almost 1 million folks. But yeah, I got the opportunity to be the deputy commissioner there. Great people, manage a budget of $2 million budget, staff of 80 volunteers. We had a transportation department, which we had vehicles that were donated, and the vehicles would drive veterans to and back from the hospital. Incredible services, incredible people. As you know, when new county executives come, there's new directors. So I had maybe 4 directors at that time, and I still was there. So, a lot of guys came, Democrats, Republican, but I was still there, and that kept on changing the commissioner, because that's the way it works. But luckily, I was there not because of my pretty face, because it actually really was doing work. So yeah, really doing work. So there's a picture. I had just so many things, so many highlights working there. This is one of the highlights. I'm not sure if you know that guy. Well, it's a good thing and a bad thing right now with the news. That's Bibi Netanyahu right there. That's the Prime Minister of Israel. I had an honor of being selected for this program called the Heroes to Heroes program, which is a 10-day transitional program journey to Israel with combat veterans from Israel and from the United States. So they would teach us about peer-to-peer support. They would teach us about tech jobs, just it's like a mental healing. And at the same time, you go to Jerusalem, you get to see the Wailing Wall where Jesus walked, where he was baptized, the Sea of Galilee, which is really called the Taberna. Um, just an incredible journey, I mean, I even got to swim in the Sea of Galilee, which is fresh water. You actually can drink it. It's a fresh water. It's a beautiful country, and they're obviously constantly in war, but it's a beautiful country. We got to actually sit down and talk to him for 30, 40 minutes. It's amazing. We have a lot of things. Bibi Netanyahu, Bibi, we share the same birthday, October the 21st. Can you
Huh.
believe that? And we both served in special operation units. So, yeah, it is really an incredible experience. I got to meet incredible folks. You know that 98% of the population in Israel are all veterans. You know that,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
everybody has to go to the military.
Yeah,
So-
they
Yeah,
all
everyone's
have in the military. Yeah.
yeah. I believe the women 2 years and the men 3 years. So yeah. So they
Oh.
kind of
When I went there in '99 on a pilgrimage, you'd see them all over the place in uniform, on corners and everything with their weapons. They were
Yes.
everywhere.
yes,
Yeah.
an amazing country. I got to do amazing things. Personal growth. And it was just really good piece. And then there's another event that we did. It was called the Brick 26 Challenge. There was the reason why it's important. There was a Marine that was doing the work study, and he was telling me. He says, "Yeah, how about doing a Tough Mudder event?" I'm not sure if you know what the Tough Mudder event. Are you familiar with it, Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, and this was before when this Tough Mudder started. Why not do a Tough Mudder with all the counties and all the cities next to each other? I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. But working in government, I know there's, because you have two cities that are next to each other or counties, it could be totally different politics. One can be Democrat, one can be Republican. One people probably they don't like each other. Oh, are we going to use your police? Are we going to use your budget? What are we going to do? I was like, you know what? We have beautiful parks here. We have a park as big as Central Park in Nassau County. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it ourselves. So we did. So I was like, yeah. So it was. You don't see it here, but we have the UFC fighters also promoting it. So basically, you carry 5 bricks, which equals 26 pounds. You carry in a backpack, and each brick has a veteran's names on it. So there'll be stages of, the Army stage. Be a bucket of Home Depot bucket with shells in it. You would do like curls. Another one would be I'm not going to remember. There was like 4 veteran stages on it. So we not only it was a walk, run, and we got families involved, we got people involved. But the best thing, what was the best thing? We raised over $80,000.
Wow.
And that money went to the local veterans. And right there, American Legion, VFW, and the local charities. And we done this for 3 years. And then with those bricks, we made this monument. So this monument stands there in Nassau County, and there's the names on it. So this was just one of many things. And the reason why I have that picture, because this was never going to happen, because I talked to the county executives, attorneys. They're like, no way, we're going to get sued. People are going to get hurt. We're going to do that. No way, this is not happening. I was like, let's look at it this way. Let's look at it this way. Let's look at this way. Kept on working, and look, we raised the money. This was built win-win for everyone. It's just
Absolutely.
yeah. And
And
there was, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All these things that you did were just building blocks to get you to where you are now.
Yeah. And just I didn't tell you, but to get when I saw this position, I started working here as code enforcement officer. I wanted to do something like this. This was my passion. I left New York. I got a job as a corporate banker. and I worked there for 2 years. And the reason why I got it is because I got a friend of mine who is a Marine, and he kind of connected me with it, and helped me get that job. So I was what is the movie? The Big Fish. The Big Fish, I think. It was basically. Are you familiar with that movie, Mary?
I haven't seen
So,
it. I've heard
so
about it.
basically,
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it. And it sounds about right.
yeah, basically everything is owned by something like McDonald's, the car dealerships, and then
Right.
you put all the loans together, and then you rate them A, B, C, and then you get an interest rate on how to charge them. So I was doing that for 2 years. I really didn't like the job; it paid well, but meanwhile, the job was in Houston, and my family was in Hazlet. So again, grinding for 2 years. So I used to drive. Every other weekend, like 3 hours back and forth. So I mean, it's just everything is you got to do it. You got to grind. So I did it for 2 years. I wanted to work in the city of Fort Worth. I wanted to do something with the veteran jobs. I did apply for veteran job, but it didn't. They didn't pick me, which is fine. But going forward, the co-compliance officer job came up, which was the second or third time I applied.
You got your foot in the door with the
That's
city.
what it was.
So.
Yeah.
I got the foot in the door. So I basically, the code enforcement officers, the person who goes, they put a complaint if somebody has items in front of the house, or their car, the junk vehicle is not moved. If a car looks like it hasn't been moved, or like the wheel is off, or it looks like they don't have an engine, they will put a complaint, or the fence has been leaning, or the grass, or just a lot of those complaints.
Yeah,
So
you were the person that people either loved or hated.
they hated me. And you know
It
what?
was
And to tell you
one
the truth,
side or the other, because you were cleaning up the mess or you were telling them to clean up the mess.
yes,
Yep.
it's they didn't like me. And the funny thing is, I'm probably one of the nicest guys. I'm one of the calls, somebody threw they had a hose and just hosed me down with the water,
Oh,
with my
no.
uniform. But then I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, thank you. It's so I needed that. But what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You gotta take it with. But yeah, I did that for 2 years, and then I moved up to building substandards, which is basically inside the home. Now, when people have complaints about the inside the home, the structure inside the home, and I got to do a little bit in that part in Northside. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Northside, but that's an area where there's a restaurant. You familiar with Dos Molinas? It's a famous Mexican restaurant.
No.
So that area right behind it that got demoed. Remember, there was a parking facility next to it, and a gas station behind it. Remember, and there was a home, and then right half of that, there was a couple of homes down. I pushed to get that done, and I tore it down because there were homeless people living there. There was prostitution. There was it was horrible. It was a horrible sight. It was just all bad stuff. And eventually, through my advocacy and putting the paperwork, I know it started with other folks, but we pushed it through, and I saw that knockdown, and it was great. It was just one of the pieces. And then I'm going to be honest, co-compliance it's a great job, but it wasn't my cup of tea. But I still did the best that I could, and I got honored the co-compliance officer of the year. So, and that's only one award. Yeah.
And then this job opened up, and you were able to apply for and it's just a new position, about a year old.
Yeah. Well, before I worked for Community Engagement for 10 months, which people loved me because I advocated for the community, educated them. That's when people loved me. Co-compliance when they hated me. So, that was a big difference. People actually wanted to see me. And then this position came up, and I was like, wow, this is definitely the job that I want. And it finally got it. But I believe there were 700 applicants for this position.
My goodness.
Yeah. And it's a real grilling. There were two meetings, boardroom meetings, one with with the directors who are veterans, and then the other ones with the assistant city managers. It was probably one of the most intense interviews I had in my life. They were board members, and then we had to talk to the city council. So I felt like I was running for office, basically. So what can you do? What are you going to provide? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I was like, I don't promise on what I can't do, because with a budget of zero, they expect you to do a lot. I'm being honest, and I've been in this position before, so I have an idea. It's not my first rodeo. I've been here before.
But
In this position in Fort Worth, but I've been somewhere. I'm very experienced on
one thing you started popping up in all kinds of different places.
Yes.
And getting involved and networking. You've been to roll call, and then you've gotten involved in the awards for the different veterans organizations.
Yeah.
The Cowtown Warriors,
Yeah.
the Armed Forces Bowl,
Yeah.
the Air Power Foundation, and that was great to see all these great organizations get an award and get to go before the city council and the mayor and receive that. And then the Vietnam Memorial that's going to be down on Clover Lane and Camp Bowie, you're able to get everything tied up for that with a nice little bow where the city's earmarked some money to help in that. Mary started working on that whenever it was just a vision.
Yep.
And
good job, Mary. Yes.
And you sit on the board for the for the Armed Forces Bowl. And then you're the chairman of the Veterans Day Parade, which this year we're going to get to go downtown Fort Worth and sit down Forest Park Boulevard, where 5 people could come out to watch. So
we have more people participating than watching, but hopefully this year more people will come out.
And there's going to be a employment workshop that you set up the 26th of September.
Oh, I need that flyer so we can send that out to all our folks.
Yeah.
It's going to be down at Will Rogers in the Roundup Inn, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stagecoach room. Okay.
Yes.
But you were very involved at the Fort Worth Stock Show and the rodeo whenever Manny Ramirez, our county commissioner, held his Veterans Appreciation Day in conjunction with the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. And you had several different departments there. So you've hit the ground running, doing some remarkable things. And, of course, you're getting tied in real well with NASJRB. I've seen you post some things, and whenever they have civic leader days out there, you're there, and got those ties going with the skipper and with the community. And so I think you're doing a great job.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah. I just wanted to touch on an amazing program that the city has for veterans, financial assistance through the neighborhood services. Basically, we get money from the Texas Veterans Commission, and there's 2 programs. One is called the Forward Homes Program, and the other one's a Healthy Homes Program. The Forward Homes Program is for veterans and spouses that are behind in rent, mortgage, or need a utility bill paid. So we have that program. And then the other one is basically for home modifications. If the veterans maybe wheelchair capacitated, they built the shelves, ramps, hand guards, fix up moderation with the bathroom as well. So another thing is with HR. I try to go out there, try to recruit veterans to work at the city of Fort Worth. But there's also the program, I'm not sure if you're familiar, it's the Skill Bridge program with the DOD.
Oh, yeah.
So we're trying to, the city's partner is been doing this, but I'm trying they've been doing a great job, but I'm just bringing it more to the veterans' attention in order to participate. Because, hey, you can work here and get that experience, and then you can transition to a city job. And if not, it's fine. You get experience, and then you can move on. And it'll be like an internship. So
And
those are great.
that
Yeah.
transition is really good to get
Yes.
you from your military job and
Yes.
transition into a civilian job right away. So
Yeah. There's another program called the Pause to Patriots program, in partnership with Animal Control. Uh, Basically, they're looking for volunteers to take care of the animals at the shelter. At the same time, it provides a bond with the veterans as well, and possibly employment too for the veterans.
And
So
it's
this is another program
to
that Pause for Patriots. Yep.
and it's volunteering at the shelters.
It's that's one piece of it. Volunteers at the shelter, bonding, walking the animals. The other one is possibly maybe through volunteering, it could be a career path for some of the veterans as well. To work with the veterans. So it's a win-win. We need we need volunteers. There's so many animals there, and then we also can help the veterans attain jobs. So I always look at things as a win-win. Honestly, when people come to me and we think of stuff, I want everyone to win. I don't want anyone to be shorthanded, because once people are shorthanded, then they don't want to participate. That's the attitude that I have. But I wanted to touch real quick. I know we've done just the key accomplishments, what we've done here in the city of Fort Worth. So we created, first of all, a web page. First, a mission. A mission, a vision. The vision to be a more friendly veteran city. And the mission is to support all veterans, families, and the veteran community. Very simple. What we accomplished so far within a year, we accomplished a website. We put a website. There's a resource page, which is it's very robust. It's a very good web page. People say, created a monthly newsletter, and then we created also the Fort Worth Distinguished Service to Veterans Award, the first of its kind here in the city of Fort Worth. This is given to individuals or veterans that went above and beyond for the veteran community. And we nominated two this year, which was Christine Wilson and the Air Power Foundation, for all the work that we do, So one of the most important pieces is to have that visibility, to now that we're here, we're important. Veterans are important in the city of Fort Worth. And I'm that person who I'm going to push forward. And I'm glad they picked me, because I know they picked the right person. After
I'm
all
glad they picked you too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds
yeah.
like they picked the right person.
Yeah.
And this QR code, they can scan that QR code and it'll take you to
Straight
more
to the website.
information.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If they have any questions, feel free to contact me. Give me a day or two. It's just a little busy, but anything here, great things. And I know you showed it before, but I'm pretty excited that we're going to have the first job collaborations with NextOp. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm glad they're helping, because it's kind of difficult just one person here. I know I have other departments, but they're very busy. But with NextOp, we're collaborating with them, and I know it's going to be a great event. I'm
And
super
for
excited.
people out there that want to know more about it,
Yeah.
they can go here, or people that want to get involved. I know that they could talk to you and say, hey, I can help you do this, or I can help you do that.
Yeah.
A lot of great volunteer activities with the parade, with the job fair, with the Armed Forces Bowl. I mean, you're such a good networker that you can get them plugged in to where they need to be, because some people, donate money. Some
Yes.
people they don't have the money, or they just need to go serve other veterans. So,
Yeah.
and that's what we find so much about our veteran community is so many of them have served their country. Now they come back and want to serve their community and their fellow veterans. And we talked earlier today about one of the kind of dreams I've had is to really honor one of our Fort Worth heroes, and that's Horace Carswell, Medal of Honor recipient. His birthday was just a few days ago, and we've talked. And next year, we're really going to have a ceremony out there. We're going to get the base involved, get the city involved, and give this Fort Worth guy that not only saved the lives of his crew, but received the Medal of Honor and brought a lot of attention to Fort Worth by having his name on Carswell Air Force Base. So uh, that's exciting for me because I've wanted to do that for a long time.
I'm here to help. I'm gonna push for that. So most of the times, I think 99% of the stuff that I say, I actually do, Rick. So
That's good. And our veteran community that lives in Fort Worth, we need to go down and start going to the city council meetings. We need to go find out what's going on with our city government and be a representative for all our veterans. So I hope you start seeing more of us at the city council meetings.
no, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Presence is very important.
we should have a nice long talk about how we can get more folks more actively involved. Because I know that not everybody is Fort Worth, but a good number of our roll call people are Fort Worth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and thank you for both what you do, Rick, Mary. You guys are amazing folks. And I know we met before, and I think Rick's like, "Oh, you need to do the podcast." And this guy is like, "I've been so, so much stuff going on." But now it's a year. It's unbelievable.
I
A year, I
know.
think 2 months, how things evolved. But I wanted to note that there's an incredible website that has all information: how to put a claim, how to get financial service, how to get free tickets, where to park for free. So much information on the website. So please, and if anyone wants to put more information that I can add, please let me know and I can add the information. I'm
You
always
just contact him right here at his email or go on the
yeah,
website, and there's a
yeah,
place to contact.
absolutely.
Joaquin, thank you so much for being part of our podcast today. We're excited that you finally were able to get your schedules clear, and we had an opening for you. And we're just honored to have you here. Thank you for your service in our military and the service that you've done for other communities, and now you brought it here. And for all those Aggies out there,
Yeah,
gig 'em.
gig 'em.
That's right.
But we look forward to seeing you and really networking with you and getting you more involved with a lot of organizations that Mary and I network with.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. You guys are amazing, Rick. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you,
have to
Mary.
have you come out
You guys
and
too.
speak at a lunch. We need
Yes,
to work on a date for that.
okay,
Absolutely. And maybe
absolutely.
we can kind of make it a community lunch. We'll try to get, uh, 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 of our friends that are real involved. So if you haven't met them, you can meet them. And if you haven't met them, then you can just kind of take that foundation and get involved in some other things. So thank you, sir, for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you too.
Amen.
We'll be talking to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Bye bye. Well, Mary, that is incredible.
Yeah, man, he's got a heck of his military story alone is amazing. And then he took all of that and everything he lived through and is now given to veterans, and that's great. It's good
And
to
just
see because while I live in Benbrook, sometimes it's Benbrook, sometimes it's Fort Worth. It kind of depends on which address wants to show up, right? But just walk across the street and you're in a different town where I live. Uh, but Benbrook is small, and some other places are small, but Fort Worth is a very large city now. It has gotten so big from what it was back in the heck, even when I lived there before in the early 90s, right over there by Birchman. It was so much smaller, but it's so large, and there are so many veterans and retirees that live in Fort Worth. And it's good to see that the city found it important to have somebody in that job that can help those veterans.
Absolutely. And he's done so much so far.
Mhm.
And, as he gets out there and keeps networking and meeting people, and he's going to be a great asset for our veteran community and our military community.
Yep. Yep. The more people he knows, the more he knows what they do, the more he can help.
That's
So
right.
if you're out there listening and you provide a service to veterans and you provide them to Fort Worth veterans, you need to have a relationship with him because that's how he better serves the veterans.
And just you can email him, or you can go to that QR code and get
Yeah, I
more
pulled it up
information.
on my phone. Works great.
Good.
No issues.
Well, this is July. July is kind of the month that a lot of nonprofits take off. We didn't have a roll call meeting this month. We have one in August the 22nd. Is that the
Yep,
correct
that's
date?
it.
At Birchman. We're going to go
Back at Birchman.
back
Yeah.
home to Birchman.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that. We had the Battling Betties. They had a fundraiser the other day.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It really was. I hope that if for those that didn't come this year, that you will be on the lookout for it in July next year because it is always a lot of fun. A lot of games. It played a lot of games, had a lot of neat items that you could buy raffle tickets for. And it's not the standard buy X number of tickets. It's from, you can either buy a half a arm from the sternum to the finger, or you could buy from finger to finger. And for $20, it was a lot, or it was a lot of raffle tickets.
They have a lot of fun doing that, don't they?
Yes, it's a lot of fun. Music, games, it's really just a good time.
We've had some more. Cameron McNutt with the Air Power Foundation says, "Thank you, Joaquin, for all the hard work you do for veterans, and can't wait to see you at next week's Patriot Roundup. Fort Worth and our support for veterans is on full display, and starting with giving away a service animal for our walk in June." So a lot of things going on with the Air Power Foundation. And Terry said, "A great segment, everyone. Joaquin, I look forward to seeing you at the Veterans Day Parade. We'll have the Hornets Nest Cruiser there. Love you, Rick and Mary." And Wanda Cox, the chairman of the Air Power Foundation, said, "Great interview." So thank you for all those comments that we had today. We have the gun raffle coming up, and that's going to be next month at the roll call meeting.
Yeah, at the luncheon. So this is really this is our only really big fundraiser this year. We got another one that we may work on shortly after this one, but this one has always been a good one for us. So we'd love for folks to get out there, support us. This is how we pay for the luncheons, is by doing these fundraisers. So we want to make sure that we can feed all of our veterans at no cost to them, which is only the right thing to do for everything that they've done for the country. So if you're out there and you don't mind having a little extra gun or two, and I think Rick, we had 3 people last year win more than one.
I think
It's one
3 to 5 won more than one gun. It's 20 minutes, 20 guns, and your ticket gets drawn, you win, they put it back in the hopper, and you have another chance. So
Yep.
just a great opportunity. There's a QR code there, or you can go to roll-call.org and find out more about that. Cameron mentioned the Patriot Roundup. That's next week at the Cowtown Coliseum. They've got a great agenda for that Patriot Roundup with a lot of great people that are going to be there. They're going to be honoring the Native Americans and talk about some of the history of the code talkers in World War I as well as have Native American dancers. And it's just going to be a great evening. You can go to the airpowerfoundation.org to find out more information about that.
Yeah, better hurry because that's coming up soon.
I know. The employment workshop that we talked about with Joaquin is coming up. We'll keep telling you more about that, and just be sure to go to the city and look up the information about the veterans things that we have. Skyball's coming up October the 25th. That's going to be a great evening. I'm sure Don will be there. And then Roll Call, sponsor a veteran. For just $20 a month, you can sponsor a veteran's lunch and then help defray some of the costs that Roll Call has in taking care of the veterans and doing all the work they do. So just a lot of stuff going on. We'd really be honored if you go to our podcast and YouTube channel and become a subscriber. And that way you can go back and look at, today was episode 149. So we've grown just a little bit in the last 3 years. Our anniversary was the 12th.
We're in our third year, Rick. Get out.
Last week, I think it was Thursday, I went down to see our good friend Larry, and Larry and I sat down and talked for 2 hours.
Nice.
That's how long the live was. Then we talked for about another 2 hours about all the other problems in the world. So, but we just thank you, Joaquin, for being on here, and thank you for your service and all you're doing for veterans. So, Mary, it's been a good podcast, and I look forward to having many more with you. Let's do another 149.
Let's keep it going, Rick.
We'll do that. So thank everybody for being a part of this, and we're going to let our good friend Don Graves take us home singing God Bless America. Y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next week on Hometown Hero. Iwo Jima survivor Don Graves singing God Bless America on his 100th birthday.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, why we're born. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, our home, sweet home. Oh, thank you.
Thank you for being a part of Hometown Heroes podcast. Visit our YouTube channel and subscribe today. We look forward to seeing you next week on Hometown Heroes, the voice of heroes, the voice for heroes.